Welcome everyone. Um, I want to welcome you to the Foundation for Conscious Living Big Leap Home online programs. My name is Michele Yasuda, and I am the program director for the Foundation programs, and I'm also a co-facilitator this morning. The foundation programs support individuals, organizations, and communities in generating agency, connection, and creativity on our shared planet. That just makes me smile every time I say it. So, this call that you're on is one of the ways that we express that in the world. So, today we're going to continue our exploration of the Restoring Resourcefulness tools, and we're going to focus on the persona module. So I'm going to put a link in the chat in a few minutes where you can locate the classes that we've already taught on the Restoring Resourcefulness program because we've covered a bunch of them in 2025 and early 2026, I believe. Just a couple logistics before I introduce and bring on my beautiful co-facilitator today. I want to invite you to join our Hendrix community on the Mighty Networks. It's a gathering space for us to connect with one another. You'll hear about the latest event, and you'll also find tools and practices for the Hendrix world. And the cool thing is, Katie's on there all the time, and she's happy to interact and answer questions. So if you have questions, that come up, let's say from class today, feel free to go on the Mighty and post those in the community. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat right now, in case you haven't joined that. It's totally free to join. We have a tradition in the Big Leap Bridge world. We've been doing these classes for about 7 years, I think now. And we like to introduce our facilitators with an appreciation. So I'm going to do that. So Alexande, whenever I'm in your presence, there's a playful curiosity that you exhibit that to me is like it draws me in. I get excited. Like I feel more excited. I feel more like my excitement can meet your excitement. And even when it's because it is grounded, even though it's grounded, I should say, there's such a bubbly energy to it, and it's like a slow bubble. It's like it's there, and it's like it's ready, and I imagine I haven't been able to have we met in person yet? I feel like we have
Oh
not.
yeah, a few times. Yeah.
Wait, we did? We met in person. Oh, yes, in the world.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. I'm blanking out. Because I was gonna say, oh yeah, that's right. I can draw on that. Yes, I had lunch with you. Yeah, I was gonna say what I imagine is how much bigger that is in person. Yeah. And I just appreciate your endless curiosity and learning and discovery. And I love the way you put things together. And I just really appreciate your dedication to the Hendrix work and what you bring to it. So I'm going to turn it over to you, let you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive into the material.
Well, thank you, Michelle. And before I dive in, I want to share my appreciation for your openness to flow and things becoming what they're meant to be without forcing them
Hmm.
and just allowing. You're so good at allowing, and that is an incredible quality that I really appreciate a lot.
Hmm.
So,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Alexande. I am a creative guide and brand consultant located out of Dallas, Texas. I'm a faculty member of the Restoring Resourcefulness program, and I've been active in the Hendrix community for the past 5 or 6 years now, I believe. And I've woven all the practices that I've learned here into both my personal life and the way that I support others in finding more ease, presence, and choice. So, that said, let's talk about personas. So, the first thing I want to share is this definition that we have of what a persona is. Humans require attention as much as they require food and water. Most babies receive attention for their essence, for simply being who they are. However, sooner or later, their being becomes inconvenient for their caretakers. Humans tend to develop roles, personas, to continue receiving the wanted attention and avoiding the unwanted attention. People develop troublesome personas when they're not getting the desired positive attention on the principle that any attention is preferable to no attention. The good news is that all personas carry aspects of essence. And the more you get to know and befriend your personas, the more you can liberate your essence qualities and express them directly. So that is what we're here to talk about today, personas. And like we mentioned, the essence versus the persona, and really just honing in on the fact that every persona carries a quality of essence. So it's really important to not be mad at our personas, punish them, or be frustrated with them, but honor them for who they are and find new ways to integrate them into our day to day. I want to share a personal story of a persona that I began to reckon with and kind of, rumble around with before I really started to understand it and appreciate it early on in my time with the Hendricks Institute. Um, we were doing a matching exercise in a class. Michelle, you were there for this. This was, I believe, during a body intelligence training. And I discovered what I now call little Alexande. He's 5 years old. And in that matching exercise, I discovered what was the root of scarcity mindset for me. And of course, as persona work goes, it there's a lot of interesting story that's built behind it, right? My sister was born when I was 5, and that was the first time that I experienced scarcity. I made up a story that there wasn't enough love to go around for both she and I, with my parents and all the adults that were around us. And that's where that all began. So, my experience of financial scarcity today, the root of that goes all the way back. So there's little Alexand who comes up and only has the tools and faculties of a 5-year-old that starts to deal with logging into bank accounts and spreadsheets, and 5-year-olds don't do well at that, as we can all agree probably. So that's my story there. Michelle, do you have one that you want to share?
Yeah, well, you actually tossed it over in a perfect way for the my favorite metaphor that I learned many years ago to think about personas. So if you think about being in a bus and you want your essence driving the bus, and all of your personas are welcome to be in the bus. They're all there and they're all welcome to be along for the ride, but I want my essence to be the one driving. And why that is so funny is a lot of these personas do go back to a pretty young age. So I definitely don't want that 5-year-old driving my bus. I mean, that is just like, whoa, not a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's I think for me, if I think about the persona that has been persistent and in such a sneaky way, so sneaky. Years ago, I thought, oh, I put this persona to rest. Like that, this persona got to go do something else for me. Wasn't getting in the way for me anymore. And what I discovered pretty much last year was that this persona came back. So it's my be nice persona. And my be nice persona used to be very much more obvious. It's very, I'm just going to be really nice, and if I'm really nice, then everyone else is going to probably be nice too, and I'm not going to have to worry about anything. And so it was kind of like very for me very obvious, I would say. So what happened was it became quieter, but what it was still doing, it was still operating to keep me out of conflict. And so if something would arise, so I had some stuff going on last year that I guess scared me to where my be nice persona decided I better come back to work. She can't handle this. And so I noticed how this sneaky way of avoiding conflict sort of came in, and I think it was related to my be nice. So it could be another persona that took over, but I think it was my be nice. So the thing about these personas, like Alexandre was saying, is we develop them to avoid negative attention. In this case, mine was developed and a be nice persona. Who doesn't want to be around someone nice, right? But the truth is, when I was, yeah, I saw Darlene's face, like you made a little face there. Yeah, because when it's not grounded in essence, it comes off as fake. And so what would happen, because it was so confusing, because I'm actually a pretty nice person. I'm pretty caring, easygoing, and until I'm not. Um, but it's very real for me to be kind. And I would say that's how I turn it, right? Be kind, not nice. And so the be nice just has this little false piece to it. And I think that even if somebody didn't know exactly, they could energetically, they're feeling something a little wobbly there. And I think that's one of the indications that we're in persona, that we do have some wobbles that come up from that. And yeah, so that's kind of where I've been noticing it for me lately. So, what we'd like to do is share one of the developments in the persona work. So, Katie and Gay have been working with persona for many, many years, decades. And they have a book called At the Speed of Life that I definitely recommend that you check out. And in there, they have quite an extensive chapter on persona and on essence. And so when the Restoring Resourcefulness faculty found out that Katie wanted to add persona as one of our modules, which happened in 2025, we started to play with it a little bit more, and we developed a new structure for getting into what the Hendricks have been teaching for many years, the persona interview. So we have an intro and an outro of the persona interview. And it's basically so that we can really access this part of us, this persona, this behavior that's coming forward, that we can actually get into it and embody it so that we can actually be interviewed. Because that's what happens. We interview the persona, whatever we name it, and then we interview it. And so getting into a persona, the cool thing about it, because it's behavioral in nature, and Alexander and I were talking before class today, and he was really getting very clear about that it's a behavior. So because it's a behavior, it's easy to access by thinking about an issue that has been maybe a repeating issue, but it's definitely something that's happening where my reaction is bigger than what is called for in that particular situation. So there's an exaggeration of whatever is happening that, if you're looking for it, can be pretty noticeable. And if you're not looking for it, you might miss it if you get caught by it. Alexandre, do you want to throw in anything about that, or about the intro part of this? Do you want to maybe share a little bit more about it?
Well, as far as the process of this, we found it very interesting to help people land in that experience. And when it comes to the persona, stepping into a persona, it starts with fear, right? There's an experience of fear, and in a lot of cases, fear of being seen, heard, or lacking connection, right? And
Mhm.
from there, there are two paths. There's this path of reaction, and there's a path of response, right? Um, and many times we're not response able, physically
Yeah.
able to respond, right? So we react. And reaction takes us directly to the drama triangle. And that's where the personas play. That's where all of that good, messy stuff happens, right? So I think that's why this intro to the persona interview is really helpful because it helps to kind of ground and set the stage for that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you. That was super. Now I know why I threw it over to you. That was beautiful. So we're gonna do a demo of this. So I'll stop there in terms of the intro because we'll be going through the steps. Um, and so there's the intro, and then after the persona, we want to have a transition into from the persona and the experience into coming back into ourselves. So you'll see when we do this demo how we do that. And all of this information, by the way, is on the website. And we'll be putting the link in the chat. And when we have this recording, we'll be putting the links up on the page where the recording is. So speaking of a demo, Alexandre, how do you feel about being interviewed? Is there a persona that's been hanging around that you'd like to learn more about?
There is. I started to identify him this morning. So this is very, for everyone on the call, this is very fresh. So
Mhm.
we will figure this out together.
All right, that sounds good. Well, I always invite folks to stand when doing an interview. So, you willing to do that? All right, I'm going to
I
stand up.
am.
I'm going to stand up too with my desk. All right, standing up is really useful so you can access your full body energy. And so, Alexandre, what I'd like you to do is bring to mind a recent situation where your reaction may have surprised you or seemed bigger than what was called for.
Okay, I've got
Oh,
it.
all right, great. And what I'd like you to do is take the next 30 seconds, and I'm even going to time it. And take the next 30 seconds or up to 30 seconds to blurt from about this situation. So this is your unenlightened self. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. I don't feel good. I'm so tired of not feeling good. This is just so annoying. I'm frustrated. My body's not what I want it to be right now. Nobody's helping me. Everybody is out to get me, and people don't believe me when I say that I'm hurting, and I don't feel like I'm here anymore. I feel like my brain is like all over the place, but like not at all in my body. I'm super annoyed and frustrated, but also just so lethargic and tired and fatigued, and none of this is going away, and nobody's helping me, and
All right. All right.
was that enough?
Wonderful. That was 30 seconds. That's great. So what body sensations and feelings are you noticing now?
It's just a sinking in my chest. Just
Sinking
a
in your
sinking,
chest.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's explore this at, like aspect of you that we call a persona. And I'd like to know what would you like to call this persona?
I think that I've been thinking about that this morning. I think that for now I'd like to call him Bummed Bert.
Bummed Bert.
Yes.
Okay. Bummed Bert. That sounds wonderful. So, what I'd really love for you to do now is to step back. And when you step in, I want you to step in as Bummed Bert. And let yourself fully embody what the posture and the gestures that bummed Bert makes. And you can do this in an exaggerated way. So it might feel a bit false, but actually the bigger you go with it, the more that I notice that I learn from it, the bigger I go. So when you feel ready to step into bummed Bert, just go ahead and let yourself step forward. All right. So, Bummed Bert, I wanted to ask you some questions. Would that be all right?
Sure.
All right. Well, Bummed Bert, what's the most important thing to you?
Letting people know that I'm bummed.
Okay. And Bummed Bert, what are you most proud of?
I don't think I'm really proud of anything.
Okay. All right. And Bumbert, when did you make your first appearance?
It was February of 2023.
Mm. And
Great year.
got me on that one. Bumbert, who did you learn your style from? You can just move your body around a little bit if nothing's coming to you.
I think it's probably a collection of things.
Okay.
Nothing in particular.
All right.
A bummer.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
It's a fail. Um, yeah, that might come later. So, Bummed Bert, what are you most afraid of?
Getting better.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And Bummed Bert, what do you most want?
To not be so bummed.
Hmm. And what would that look like? Can you flip that to what you most want?
Being better.
Being better,
Feeling better.
feeling better. All right. Okay. So, Bummed Bert, what I'd like you to do is allow the whole of Alexande to come back and maybe do some fear melters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's such a bummer. I'm sorry,
Oh,
everyone. You had to see him. He's so
oh,
gross.
oh.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Well, at least he's not gross, but he does feel gross on me.
yeah, I get that. Yeah, I found him to be quite adorable, actually.
He's very sarcastic.
Oh, that's great. So, okay, I'm gonna grab my chair here. And so, Alexandre, I'm wondering, would you be willing to find a way to celebrate this opening that you're creating through this interview, through getting to
Yeah, yeah. So what came from this, and I'm happy I brought this persona up because what I there whenever just to fill in context for folks that and why this is super helpful, and I'm only sharing this context because I think that it just shows how profound this work is. I've been having some chronic health issues that started in 2023, and part of me has this bummed out, just kind of like part going through the medical system and how tricky that is. It has been a real bummer, and it's changed my personality, or at least the way that I'm perceived and the way that I'm experienced, just, by nature of what's been going on. But what's interesting is that my fear that I had from the beginning of this process, that I hope it doesn't change me. And what I've noticed is that there are pieces of me that are so familiar with being in these states
Mm.
that they don't want them to change.
Mm.
And there is a fear of being better simply because we, the collective of me, the multitudes of me, don't know how to be normal again.
Right.
So that's a gigantic thing that I
Mm-hmm.
haven't reckoned with, and today was really the first step. And I'm just so grateful, Michelle, that we were able to do this here, and I'm so happy to share this with everybody.
Hmm.
But truly, selfishly for me, this was a very big first step. So,
Wow, that's beautiful. Something I noticed when you were talking, there's a connection between personas and upper limits. I've noticed
mm,
because the Hendricks teach a concept of upper limits, which is basically our capacity for feeling good. And so when we reach our outer limits of feeling good and what we're used to, we will sometimes um, something will happen that'll bring us back to our usual feeling good amount. And that's a very simplified, the upper limit problem. You can, and upper limit pattern, you can Google that and you'll find all kinds of information on that. And we have on our website, we have some videos actually on that. So the reason it came up is that Katie and Gay will often say, and I heard them say it recently, the upper limit problem is really the only problem that we will ever have. And so it does sound like Bert over there, bummed Bert, is he's having trouble feeling good, and so that's an amazing discovery. So I'm excited for you. That's really wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the upper limit is that we don't have to fix anything. It's really about committing every day to expanding our capacity for feeling good, feeling good. So,
Mhm.
yay. So, well, thank you for that, you opening your heart in that way and allowing us into your world. That's, just incredibly valuable. That, yeah. So I'm glad that it was valuable to you. I think it was so valuable for everyone. So what we'd like to do now is do a group persona interview. And so the only difference than the usual way that we'll do this is that you'll have to track your own answers. So if you can all just grab a piece of paper and a pen, and we'll give you time to go and do that. Then we're going to take you through the persona interview. And then Alexandre, maybe while people are looking for their pen and paper, is there anything else you want to share before we do that? I'll just toss it over to you in case.
No, I mean, I feel really, I'm just bubbling right now with different thoughts about just what I just experienced, and I'm really, I'm really filled with gratitude. There's just been it's no coincidence that the timing of this, and I found this with persona interviews in particular, and I mean, honestly, much of the restoring resourcefulness work as it 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 ha you're ready for it when you're ready for it. And it makes an impact when you least expect it to. And today that was a very big that was something for me. That I didn't come into this. I thought, I was just thinking about a demo, and here we are making a massive, what I believe to be a massive shift, which isn't a coincidence just because a lot of things in my life are moving and trending in certain ways. And so
Mm,
today, this time, right now for me, 11:30 Central Time is when I was ready to receive that information to make a shift.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I love that because what you're saying is we can't get it wrong. That
hmm
we're going to I love one of the things that one of my favorites of Gay, and I just heard him say it the other day again, is I'm always in the right place at the right time having the right experience. And I have found by committing to that idea, I'm always in the right place at the right time having the right experience. I can love my whole self for the timing in which my unfolding into my next self and the healing of any blocks, whatever it is in the way of me showing up in essence, I can let that be okay in the timing that is showing up. So thank you for pointing that out. I think that's really just a lovely concept to and an important concept to bring in. And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny that you say that before. So we're going to go into this persona interview and everybody will get to participate, but I just have to acknowledge what you just said because it's so funny. One of Bummed Bert's and many of my personas' recent favorite phrases to say out loud is I'm not having the right experience.
Oh, that's his favorite.
Literally have said that multiple. I've caught, and I know that that is not real. My essence is like overriding it, but at the same
Mm,
time, I'm like, I just need to express it to get it out of my body. But it's funny that I
mm,
mean, that's just,
mm.
that's exactly it. Personas are likely not to feel like they're having the right experience. So that's an interesting quality there.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Ah,
great. I just had the curiosity of what the essence qualities that are at the core of Bummed Burt are. And I think that may not be obvious yet, but like we said at the beginning, that there's a seed of essence in every persona. And so I'm excited for that discovery to be made so that you can start to just directly expressing that
yeah.
aspect of you. So very cool. So yeah, so everyone ready to play with a persona? Yeah, cool. Alexander, would you start us off with the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
step?
I'll if and if everybody, if you're more comfortable sitting, that's totally fine. But standing will give you the opportunity to really step in. And I'll stand with everybody as well. So I invite everybody to bring to mind a recent situation where your reaction may have surprised you or seemed bigger than what was called for.
And Alexander, I'm wondering, would you be willing to lead the whole persona interview? Because I
Oh,
was thinking
absolutely.
I'll participate in it.
Yeah. Oh, let's
Yeah,
do it. Yeah, perfect.
great. Thank you.
So bring to mind that recent situation where your reaction may have surprised you or seemed bigger than what was called for. Now you're all on mute, so just take 30. I'm going to time everybody. Take 30 seconds to just start blurting about this experience, and I'll time y'all. Go for it. Use your bodies too. Move around. All right. I gave a little extra time because it looked like everybody was really getting into it, which is great. Now, what are the body sensations and feelings that you notice when you bring the situation to mind? So take a second to just acknowledge them or jot them down, however you want to notate that. And now let's explore this aspect of you that we call a persona. So first, what would your persona like to be called? Give it a name, something that you can acknowledge it by. And as a reminder, we spoke about this earlier, the key to really benefiting from this activity in the persona interview is exaggeration, making it bigger. Your voice, your gestures, your stance. And as you get ready to play and be interviewed, play with and exaggerate the persona's postures, the stance, the facial expressions. And when you're ready, to let your persona fully respond. So let's start by taking a step out of the space you're in now. And when you're ready to let your persona fully respond, physically take a step forward into this persona. Okay. So I'm going to ask these questions to each of your personas. Okay. So I'm asking your persona right now, what is the most important thing to you? Feel free to jot it down, blurt it out loud. And if you're writing it down, write it down just like your persona would. And now I want to ask your persona, what are you most proud of? And now I'm curious, when did you make your first appearance? Who did you learn your style from? What are you most afraid of? And lastly, what do you most want? Okay. So that completes the interview. I'm going to invite all of you to step out of your persona and back into essence in whatever way that feels pleasurable for you. Fear melters, give it a wiggle, maybe some love scoops, and just thank you all for your willingness to explore this piece of you. All right. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that
Big
too.
hugs.
Well, thank you, Alexande. That was very enlightening for me. I definitely found a new persona. And yeah, I realize it's part of a committee. And so this one's been like on the side, hiding out. So yeah, very helpful. Love to hear from everyone what your experience of that was like and any discoveries or questions that arose for you around this interview. Yeah, Sherry. And then
So now that we've brought out this lovely persona, is that sarcastic enough for everybody? Okay. Um, how do you integrate it? Love it?
Mm.
And there's not much I really like about it.
Ah, yeah. You're experiencing some like what are the feelings you have when you think about the persona? What kind of feelings come up?
Um, I got this from my mother, and it's a very martyred.
Ah, okay.
It's a very martyred being. I'll just take all the crap, and no.
Right, right. Okay, so what does that bring up inside of you? What are the feelings and sensations
Oh,
that you notice?
no. Oh, nervous stomach. Again,
Ah,
that's my go-to. Nervous stomach, I
nervous
just want to
stomach.
throw it up.
Yeah, nervous
It's
stomach.
like, purge this. I'm agitated and it's hiding the fear.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
That somebody will see me, somebody will know that I am afraid, somebody will see who I am.
Hmm. That was the fear that came up. The what are you most afraid of?
Yeah, seeing me that I'm just as afraid as everybody else.
Ah, yeah,
Because
right.
I'm the stable Sally, I'm the one who checks in on everybody. I'm the one that takes care of everybody. And it's like, where the
Ah,
fuck are the people that take care of me?
right, exactly. You're like, hello.
Um,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
Um,
that's, I mean, people check in all the time, but
yeah.
it's
Well,
the
this is the persona we're talking about,
right. The
you know?
persona is,
Yeah.
where the fuck are the people for me?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just curious about if you were just to allow yourself to be with the feelings that are arising for you and just be with what is. And I guess what I would want to do, well, what I do want to do with my persona, I'm committing to learning more about this way of being in the world and to getting curious about it so that I can resolve, so I can basically include and resolve it. So I wonder if that sounds good to you of just being with the feelings that have arisen and doing that. And then I'm wondering if Alexander or anybody else have thoughts to share with Sherry.
Sherry, the thing I honestly don't remember who shared this exercise, where it came from, but I'll tell you what it was and how helpful it was for me. It's a visualization exercise
Mm,
where you imagine a place where you feel most comfortable and you imagine yourself sitting with that part of yourself.
mm,
That and not without judgment, just conversational and just cat like the visualization I've done is like just being on like one of my favorite beaches
mm,
and I'm sharing like a beach towel that I'm sitting on with my younger self, my 5-year-old self. And we're just chatting, making a sandcastle, and just I'm understanding where they're coming from, because my essence has a development beyond the limited scope of that persona, right?
mm.
So I'm the perfect teacher for that part of myself.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that part. They just don't know. And being there with them and being in presence with them immediately for me melts the tension of the
Mm,
moment. And it makes it loving. So whenever I feel those feelings of scarcity, it's whenever I realize I'm having a moment of scarcity, I'm able to then go to sympathy and empathy rather than anger and fear because
Mm.
I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my 5-year-old self thought there wasn't enough love to go around. And how can I show with an action that there always is enough? You know, I haven't done this with Bert, what do I call him?
Bumped.
Bummed Bert. I imagine that'll be a funny conversation because of the way that that part of me shows up, but also exploring what it feels like to just allow healing to happen. And that I haven't done that. I'm able to share that visualization with the 5-year-old version of myself because I've done that. I haven't done that with our friend Bert yet, but I found that really powerful and really,
Mhm.
really moving. So just gathering what that space would be like where you would be open to having that conversation with that specific persona. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this persona only shows up in crisis.
Ah,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not, every week. Well, here
Right.
it is, but it
Well,
hasn't been
yeah.
every. So,
Oh,
okay, have the
yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Thank
I,
you. Thank you,
yeah,
both of you.
yeah, thank you, Sherry, for bringing that up because that is, I found myself with certain personas going through a period of being angry about that persona because it really got in the way for me. And Alexande, 100%, that's a way to melt it. And I have used that technique. I love that technique, and I appreciate that you brought it forward because it's super important and super helpful. So it feels like part of matching, the matching experience. There's a little bit
Mhm.
of that kind of idea. And I also don't know exactly where it came from for me, but I imagine it's just circulating. But it's really the end goal here is inclusion because I've heard Katie say so many times the personas aren't going anywhere, and what you push on and what you resist, you know, I'll just say what you resist persists. That's a saying that's out there. But what you push on, you give energy to. So I want to give energy to that which is life-giving for me and brings me closer to what I want, which is authenticity and living from essence. And so yeah, that's a way. It's like Alexander, the thing you're talking about, it just cuts right to the heart and it gets underneath the sort of flurry of energy that's going on. And it may be something that it will be good to have support with. Sometimes when it's a really biggie, it might be good to have someone else talk you through that piece. And so, you could find a friend to do that with, because that I think that could be quite useful to have that experience, right? To not be alone in it. But it's also something you could take yourself through.
But Michelle, I want to just to piggyback on that and add to the your analogy of the bus, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all that version of yourself that, like, for example, the 5-year-old version of myself, the scarcity piece there. It's being that version, it's a childlike sense of knowing when I want attention, right? That's, I mean, the core of it is that. And as an adult, it's not cool or hip or like adult-like to want attention and say it out loud, right? So what I've noticed about that part of myself is that it's very honest about when I don't feel loved and I'm not feeling loved in a circumstance. So I'm driving the bus, when Essence is driving the bus, I'll invite him to come sit in the seat right behind me and whisper in my ear which direction they're interested in going. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's go stop for ice cream. Everybody would love that. And we're going to go that way. And that's kind of how I've organized these folks because even like the hypervigilant part
Mm.
and persona that I've got in the background, they're really good at organizing stuff. But we're not going to let them control the way that I speak to other people and make them feel less than, right? So there's so
Mm.
many examples of how to organize these personas because they are really helpful whenever they're doing a job and not taking over the entire experience and being driven by fear.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. I love your idea of the of behind you because I've often thought of like in a little seat next to me. But I love your version because behind me tells my whole system I'm the one driving and you're included, but there is that delineation of this is my adult self, this is my wholeness, this is my essence, and you get to be back there. So there's and I'm not saying it's wrong to have them, on your lap or next to you. That's another option, but that really spoke to me when you shared that right now. So thank you for that. And this is the thing, as you can see, we're all collaborating and co-creating this. These are concepts that, as Katie will say, are made up, right? We're naming things that are happening, and because us humans understand through language, and we understand through being able to connect with something by naming it. But the real transformation is happening inside our bodies. And that's why with the persona interview, it's so helpful to have that blurting, to have yourself really step into it so that when you're getting interviewed, you can be embodied in that persona. Now, here's the thing, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes, a couple things happen with personas I've noticed over these years. One is that the persona um, seems to really want to hide. So the persona kind of takes the back seat, and then the person starts answering from essence. So that can happen sometimes. And then usually what I'll just I'll make a point of like, oh, that's sounding like maybe your essence talking. Is that accurate? And oh, okay. And then we can distinguish between. And also in an interview, sometimes another persona crops up. And that's actually what happened for me. When I did the blurting, it went in a different direction than I expected. And so I went down that road, and that was great because that's an aspect that I hadn't noticed before. And it really was the driver for the persona that came in later, which is the be nice persona, and or a version of it. So it's really, like as I started to say this, we're collaborating, we're being creative, and we're allowing things to come forward. And that's when we're doing that, that's when we really get to learn a lot. So is there anybody else? I'm curious from the interview if are there questions? Oh, actually, yeah, Shantae, I think that you had your hand up before.
Yes, this is my first time experiencing this. And even though I understand the concept, the words and everything that you guys are using to describe it are a bit different than I was used to, but I was surprised at just how I started feeling the emotions. I actually wanted to hug her and and just love
Oh,
on her and go, all is well. And it just that reaction surprised me.
oh, that is super wonderful. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yay. Yay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, and welcome. I'm
Thank
glad you're
you.
here. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I can share. I had an interesting experience. That was really good, Alexande. Thank you for leading us through that. Um, and I hadn't done the think about the issue that's you reacted to in a different way. So it led me to explore a different persona than I initially was thinking, oh, I want to explore this other persona over here, but the one that was attached to the bigger reaction, I was more hesitant to explore. I was like, I don't want to explore that one. But I did, and it was really interesting. Uh, yeah, it was really interesting to experience. I'm trying to think like a quick summary. It's basically like a really angry version of me who's just like laser eyes, like trying to laser someone to show them like how much they pissed me off. And like the thing that I'm most proud, or the thing that is most important to me, was people know they've upset me and they've wronged me. And then the thing that I'm most afraid of is that I'm letting people get away with it. And I wrote it down, like you said, as my persona would write it. So that was cool. And then what I wanted most was interesting. It was just, I want someone to come over and ask me what's wrong. And like,
Mm.
Oh,
yeah. And then the craziest thing happened yesterday. I was the thing that brought this, the overreaction. I have this situation with a woman in my neighborhood who we were just butting heads. Like, I would like to walk my border collie without a leash. She's really well trained. She's like a high energy dog. She just like loves, I see her as like a 3-year-old person. Anyway, that's besides the point. So I just want her to have her best life. And it's like, this is my neighborhood. And the other lady is like, put your dog on a leash. This is the law. Don't you know what the law is? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh my God, lady, like we're in Los Angeles. There's a lot of, and also our country, the US, there's a lot of unlawful things happening. Why are we worried about this one? So those are like the things my persona is saying. And usually I just try and avoid her. But yesterday I found myself death staring her. And I was like, and then she stopped. She was like, do you have a problem? And I said, well, you just said something really rude to me. And anyway, then I walk away from the situation after a little bit of an interaction with her, and I'm like exaggerating, like, wow, you're so annoying, just to try and like get past it, exaggerate. And then this woman like stops her car, rolls down her window, and is like, are you okay? I just saw what happened, and like I just wanted to check. I didn't know if I should like say something, but like I just wanted to check. And it was just like so sweet. I literally
oh,
almost started crying. And
oh.
and then there's also like a racial dynamic, right? Because the woman is white and then I'm not white and then the person in the car was not white. So like that woman. So it's kind of like a like I'm watching out for you, like my guardian angel came to check on me and like understood. uh
Hmm.
I was just like, wow, this has literally never happened. This must be like a gift
Wow.
from above because I was really about to spiral into just like anger.
Mm.
And then she came and was like, just literally did what my persona wanted.
I was about to say,
Yeah, that's
Alana,
what I
it's
was.
exactly what you were asking for. How
Yes.
Yeah.
incredible.
And I didn't
Yeah.
even connect those until after. I was like,
Oh,
wow, it was just so nice that she came over
oh, that's
and asked
beautiful.
me and talked to me. So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that, Alana. And I think there's so much to learn when we're willing to look at that and then find the essence underneath. And I imagine it's connected to that thing you most want. Um, I had a thought today for the first, I think it's the first time I've had this thought, maybe, I'm not sure. But that the what are you most proud of has clues to the essence quality. And so it came to mind because um, bummed Bert wasn't sure, didn't feel like he was proud of anything. And so yeah, so that's a curiosity I'm walking away with and not sure if that has merit or not, but I'm getting curious about that. Each of those questions, they seem so simple, but as you all experienced, they really can run deep. And this is the beginning of an exploration of getting to know these different personas that we walk around in. And, the whole idea, I'm going to go back to the beginning, Alexande, is that we have a choice when something happens. We want to be able to have a choice to respond rather than react. So the more we learn about these behaviors and where we're drawn, the more that we can have that happen. So, well, I see what time it is. I think we're going to need to come in for a landing. And I want to thank everybody for coming and playing together. And we always have a lot of fun when personas come up. So we'll be sure to put something else on the calendar around personas. Alexande, did you want to say anything before we leave?
I'm just so grateful for each of you for, coming in. This is a really, this has just been such a special experience here. And for everybody, I know, Michelle, this is being recorded. So, this will be shared as well. on the Mighty Network. So thank you all for your shares. I know that they're going to be so beneficial for other folks in the community. And yeah, I just, we've got resources for this interview as well that we'll share. Try it out. Try to explore those other personas that were kind of coming through. It's interesting, Alana, I can relate. There's an anger persona that was starting to come up for me. That's who's next on my list.
Next on the
We got to
list.
deal with
Yeah.
Bert first, make sure he has what he needs.
Give
But
him attention first.
give him attention
Yeah,
first. But
that's
thank you all
right.
so much. I'm just so
Yeah, thank you
grateful.
so very much. Thank you, everyone. All right. See you next time.